Our next author is the author of How Do I Survive? 7 Steps to Living After Child Loss, Patricia Sheveland. Patricia, or Pat, as we know and love her around here, is hello.
Hi.
I'm excited to talk about this book now on audiobook. I know so often when we're in grief, reading and just focusing on reading can be a challenge. And so I think having this book in the audio format is going to be so helpful to so many going through the loss of a child. Why did you write How Do I Survive? What's the story of this book?
Well, first of all, thank you for having me be interviewed, especially this month because this is Bereaved Parents Month. So it's very timely that we're chatting about, and the audiobook is now available. So what was the impetus? A lot of people will say, oh, did you lose a child? I'm so sorry that you lost a child. But the reality is I didn't lose a child. I was born into a grieving family. However, my parents didn't acknowledge it, didn't have the ability to really work within their grief. And so it was after 60 years of grieving that my mother finally opened up and started talking about my brother who was born and died before I was even born. And she had left all that stuff was so stuck and so stuffed within her. It was like she buried Greg along all of his memories, everything about him in his little grave. And so I worked with her to just kind of unearth all the feelings and the emotions and all of that. And I learned so much from working with my mother and helping her in that healing process. And then my coaching business, I didn't have a niche that I was really going to back in 2012. But the first people that really came to me as coaching clients were grieving moms. So all these years I've been working with grieving mothers. I've worked with my own mother, and I've just found that there are certain commonalities for women who have been able to successfully move forward in their lives and have lives that have peace and fulfillment. And there are commonalities for those who don't. So I look at all of these women and my mom and all of the parents and families all together, but they are my wisdom keepers. So they're the ones that actually have shared so much. And I'm really the scribe. I've taken all of what they have, shared with me what are all the experiences and the things that they did that really worked well for them, and I put them into a pretty little package. And that's what this book is really about, is different tools and ways to work within your grief, because grief is a healing process. It's
Mm.
not meant to stop us in our tracks, but it's a healing process. So the book has a lot of different tools, and I call it my breathe method because it's an acronym for all these steps. But one of the first things that happen when we're grieving is we forget to breathe, right? We inhale and it gets stuck in our chest. And I see myself as the coach of helping people to exhale once again in
Mm.
their lives.
What has been the journey like over the last year? What's changed in your life? How has the book changed how you get your message out in the world?
Oh man, it's been gorgeous. The first thing is I was able to quit my job that I was working a day job and actually totally focus on my coaching practice. And it also having this book and this program that you have so generously shared with all of us helped me to be able to stay home and take care of my aging mother and my multi-generational family. And it's just been wonderful. People have been coming, and it's not just grieving parents. You know, I had an 18-year-old kid who was grieving the almost death of his grandfather, and a woman who was like his second mother. I've had mothers come to me where they're grieving their children who haven't died, and hopefully they won't, but yet there's drug addictions, there's suicidal ideation, that type of thing. So they're really grieving their children who are still here because they're in this very traumatic time of their lives and with those relationships. So it's really opened up a whole different way of helping people who are grieving all different kinds of grief. So I'm very appreciative of what this has really opened, and it's helped me to be a much better coach, you know, a much better listener, and to really have a true understanding, to be that supportive container for people when they are in this very traumatic time of their lives.
Yeah, it's such important work, more important now than ever, I think. How Do I Survive? 7 Steps to Living After Child Loss. It's the best-selling book by Patricia Sheveland, and it is now available on audiobook. So please share the message with anyone who you know who might need it and receive some healing from it. I know that would be your wish as well, Pat. Congratulations
Absolutely.
on this book.
Thank you.